Guys, hope you're having a great day today. Okay, today's video is going to be just some random personal tips that I have done for years for myself that maybe it'll be something that you can do in your life. I love hearing what other moms do, and I think, wow, that's a good idea. And so I think just learning and listening to other people, you can take what you want for your own life, or you can just kind of learn something new, or you can just say, oh, I already do that, no big deal. So these are some random personal, I'm going to say random, these are some things that I do for myself to help take care of myself in my life. So I think the most important thing, the number one, because I've had a lot of kids and I understand about being how much work that requires. I know how much energy levels you have. I think the number one thing is to eat a healthy diet. It's so important because what you put into your body is going to be how you perform. Now I'm all for junk food and chips. Give me a bag of salt. Ooh, what are those chips? The cheddar, black pepper, aged cheddar and black pepper chips, like the waffle cut. I think Lay's does them. I can't find them anymore, and so I have found a knockoff at Aldi's once in a while, but those Lay's, I could just eat a whole entire bag of those. So I love salt. Don't love chocolate as much as I love salt. But I realize when I eat a whole entire bag, you know what, I just feel yuck. I just feel sick for the next day. So I've had to learn to, okay, just use a little bit, have a handful of it, and I can still enjoy them tomorrow. And so same thing with food. If I eat a bunch of junk food, I have a bunch of food that's not good for me, it just makes me feel awful. So I've learned that if you eat a healthy diet, I'm not saying you have to be super strict, but if you are super strict, then that's awesome, because you know what? You're going to feel a whole lot better. And so that's something that I try to watch for myself. I try to do. I realize that when I get in a rut of having a lot of garbage and a lot of yucky foods that I shouldn't have, I don't feel as good, and I can't perform as well. I feel tired, and I get moody, and I get crabby, and I just don't want to do anything. And so, but I find when I eat healthy, majority of the time, like 75% of the time, if I eat healthy, I can perform a lot better. So that's something I do. Sleep. Ooh, sleep is so important. You mamas out there that aren't getting any sleep, just know that eventually you will get sleep. But it's tough, because I know when I don't get enough sleep, that just makes me irritable. Especially now having the sleep because my Steven he'll be 6 this fall. Oh my goodness, 6 next month. But after having all the sleep, the nights, I have Maxine now, the dog, the new puppy. She's just starting to get up at night, where she's whining at night, and she hasn't done that at all. And I'm like, since we got home, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was up last night with her, and I'm like, I am so tired because this puppy got me up. And so it's amazing what God will do for mamas when they have babies. It's like you can just learn to perform with no sleep. I mean, I went months with just 4 hours sleep years for just a little bit of sleep. And I performed well. And so now I'm like, if I do that now, I'm just exhausted. And so it's kind of cool how God puts that in us mamas. But sleep is so important. So what I would do, if you have to get up with babies all night, make sure you schedule in a nap for yourself. Schedule a nap. If only 20 minutes or only a half hour, get that half hour of a nap. I did that. My favorite was nap time. Even my oldest daughter's like, Mom, can we just have nap time? And my oldest, Lauren, my second oldest daughter, she would say, Mom, can we just have nap time today? So back in the day. And so my kids would sleep longer, but I made sure to sleep for at least a half hour every day, even if I felt good, because I knew that I had to keep going for the rest of the day. So make sure you get sleep. Get that half hour nap. Though they say, I think it's a 20-minute power nap. And so I really do totally believe in that. If you just take 20 minutes, you'll feel refreshed. But if you're really tired, like I know when I had babies, if I was really tired, I would sleep an hour. And so I didn't like sleeping the same amount of time the kids did, because when I woke up, I was groggy, and I felt like, and then the kids were ready to go, and I felt like I still didn't get any sleep. So I'd like to set my alarm and get up before them, so that way I feel like I could have just a few minutes of silence and quiet, or just a few minutes to even go to the bathroom or get a drink, or just kind of suck in a little bit of quietness in your house. So that's important for mama. So get a nap in. And so it was hard, because I know I have friends now that have little kids, and they're like, oh, it's nap time, I can't go anywhere. I'm like, that's right, don't go anywhere at nap time, because nap times are so important. And take a nap yourself. It'll just make you feel so much better. And then when nighttime, go to bed. Don't stay up looking on your phone. Don't stay up watching movies. Get some sleep. That's so, so important. I know I've learned that over the years. I just thought, oh, I'm only getting some free me time. I want to watch a movie. I want to do this. But I realized that, you know what? This season of life with these babies, I need rest. And so make sure you get sleep. So important to get sleep. Vitamins. The vitamins are another big thing I'm big on, because I'm not huge on them, I guess it's not, but I always took a prenatal vitamin. Always took a prenatal vitamin for years. And even now I think, wow, I need to take prenatal vitamins, because my hair will go better and my nails grew so well when I had those. But I just take a woman's vitamin now. But vitamins were huge, because I knew I was not getting what I needed in a day, especially with little kids. And so I would take my vitamins every day. That was just something I always did. Exercise. exercise is so important too. It's hard, especially when, I'm gonna say hard. I shouldn't use the word hard because nothing is hard. It's just unmotivating. That's a good word, right? Like so unmotivating, especially when you take care of babies. It's like that's the last thing you want to think of doing. Especially, okay, when you have little ones, the last thing, like when I lost weight, I really dedicated and took a half hour and did some walking and running and lost the weight, but I was really motivated to lose the weight, so I did that. But if you are not that motivated, just get out and do something. Get out and walk with your kids. You know, strap your baby in your sling, get the stroller out and push it. I had a baby in a wrap, my Moby wrap, and then I had a baby in the car seat, or in the stroller, it's not the car seat, in the stroller, and then I also had a toddler sitting on the sit and stand stroller in the back, and then we would just walk, and we'd go for a walk. Yes, it was a little bit more work to get somewhere, like to a walking path, but well worth walking the time. I didn't let the kid, like if I was going to get exercise and the toddler wanted to run or walk, I say, okay, you're gonna sit here, even bring snacks for them and say, okay, you're gonna sit here, and then time yourself, give yourself a 20-minute walk or whatever, and say, okay, in 20 minutes, then you can walk. And so you make sure they said, no, we're not gonna get out yet, you're gonna sit, and then do your walking, get some exercise in. You will feel so much better. And if you can't get out, we lived in Michigan and we couldn't get out a lot. We would do the Wiggles. I don't even know if Wiggles are big anymore. Probably not. But the Wiggles, they're like an Australian bunch of guys, dads, and they dance. And so we watched their videos, and my kids love the dance song. And so I would dance along, and it can get your heart rate going and make you a little tired. And so that's something I would do with my kids. And so get some kind of exercise because it's so important in how you will feel for your day with your kids. I promise you, it'll take a while. The first week you probably feel really tired, but after that you're gonna, wow, I have a little bit more energy in my life, and you might be tempted to skip that nap. Don't, keep that nap in. That's so important to keep that nap. And then just keep it going and you'll feel so much better, I promise you. So your diet, your sleep, vitamins, and exercise, I feel like are the 4 important things to do to keep yourself going. And also your time with the Lord. I think that's very important. I know that's hard to find time with the Lord, especially when you have a lot of kids. And so I didn't get a lot of personal time with the Lord. Mine was like in the shower when I would be able to sit and talk with God, and because I was out in the house, kids would see me and they'd be right there. But we spent a lot of time reading Bible stories, a lot of time reading God's Word together and doing character training stories, things like that. And so that's counted as your time with the Lord. God knows your time. He knows your place. So, but if you see, don't use the excuse that I just have no time and you're doing other things that you shouldn't be doing. He knows your time in your life. He knows what your situations are. So don't get hard on yourself if you can't find out time every single day to go have some moment of quiet, even if it's before you go to bed, even if it's just when you're in the shower. Whatever you can do, you can do. Okay, now I've got some random personal tips that I do for myself. Maybe you don't do, maybe you do. I don't know. These are something I do. Something that I've learned that I grew up in the North. And so when I was a kid, my mom would curl my hair for school. And then I would get to school and I would take my coat off and my hair would be all fly away and sticking up everywhere. And so she would give me a dryer sheet. You know, like the dryer sheet towels that you stick in your laundry. And then I would take it and rub it on my hair and on my clothes. And it would take the static out. Genius. And I realized most people don't do that. So moving down here, we don't have that issue so much in the summer, but in the winter, I know that like when I'll go to church, I'll get out of my van and I'll sit down and my dress will start sticking to my legs and I'm like, oh my goodness, and it's sticking up all weird everywhere. So I will keep a box of those dryer sheets in my van, or like if it was your kids, I'd put them in their coat pocket, and then when I'd go in the bathroom and I'd rub it on my legs and on my dress, and that took the static out of my clothes a lot. So those little dryer towels work great for that. Something else I do is shaving. I guess shaving is weird. When you shave your legs, instead of buying the shaving gel, I always just use cheap conditioner. Myself, I just use soap. I'll use like whatever bar soap's in there. But if before I would do like cheap conditioner, just use like dollar conditioner on your legs and then shave it off. That's a really good thing. I find that after I buy just a nice razor, if I buy the cheapy razors, they don't last that long. But if I invest in, like, I think I have the Venus ones. I think they're Venus razors. And so I find that when I use those, as long as it's got the little strip on the moisturizing strip, if I use those with some water, a little bit of soap or conditioner, and then as long as I keep the razor dry, it lasts a whole lot longer. Like, I think this summer I've gone through one in a couple months, like one of the heads. It's taken about 2 months to use, and I realized, ooh, it's time to replace it. And so when it starts shaving weird, then throw that out and get the new one, but I've got the replaceable. So that's something to do. Make sure you keep it dry. When it gets wet, it just gets worse, and the razors dull it. So keep it dry. That will help in prolonging your razor life. Okay, something else to do is, maybe you guys do this all the time, is using like a bath loofah Or like my favorite thing now, my friend Heather sent me a Norwex body cloth and I use that instead. But if you didn't have the Norwex body cloth, use like a loofah, like the little loofahs from the store. For years I would go and just use body soap and just clean off, and that was it, with just like the bar soap or just a washcloth, a regular washcloth. And then I realized like I'd go like this and then like I would feel like dead skin, and I know that's disgusting. I'm like, what is on my neck? And it was like dead skin on there, and I was like, oh, that's disgusting. And I'd rub my legs and I'm like, oh, what is all that dead skin on me? And so I realized that your body is losing dead skin cells, which, yes, I realized that, but I didn't realize how much. And so sometimes when you're just using soap, it just coats on there. So use a loofah and scrub your body and get all that off there, and that's really important to do. And so, but I use my Norwex body cloth, and that works really good. And so that's just something to use on yourself. I know that's probably something you guys already do, but for most that just don't, take a shower and just use soap like I did for years. And I was like, oh, what is that disgusting thing on me? And I don't get dirty, but I'm just with babies, but I'm like, oh, that's gross. And so use the loofah to scrub that off. Sorry. And then something else I do is I lotion every single day of my life. I have used lotion my entire life. I have used Suave, the cocoa butter lotion, my whole life. Like, I always put lotion on. I've just done it growing up. I hate the feeling of dry skin, so I've used lotion everywhere, my whole body. When I've had babies, I have had 10 babies, and my stretch marks are very minimal, very minimal. I have more stretch marks, like more like on my upper hip a little bit, where, you know, I gained some weight that way. My stomach has just a tad on there, not a whole lot. And so just where whatever, baby's big because they're big, but that has helped huge in my life. I know they recommend, and I know I used it my whole life, and then like all of a sudden they were like, don't use cocoa butter on your belly because it can cause miscarriage. I don't know, like, talk to your doctor about that if you're having a baby, because I don't know. That was like with my last one, they kind of came out with the things, and I was like, oh, I'm like, I've been using that my whole life. And so obviously there was some concern that they brought up, so be careful, like in the first trimester. I think that's what it is. Ask your doctor, but I'm sure they have all that out there and they give you that now. But that's something to do. And then only recently I started using the coconut oil. And so just because I started doing the oil pulling with my teeth, oh, Maxine's barking, with my teeth, and then I went to go to the store at one of my stock ups, and they didn't have the Suave lotion, and I was like, oh, they don't have my lotion. I didn't want to get anything else because I don't like any other feeling lotion. I like the greasies. I don't like that stuff. And so I was like, and I use the Bath and Body Works. Like at Christmas, my husband gets me 4 cents of, he would buy me more, but I just say 4 cents of Bath and Body Works, the cream. I get the hand cream that's in the tube, not the lotion because it's too watery, the cream. So I get 4 cents. I get something for the winter. I usually do like a vanilla, and then my spring one, my spring one was the Tahiti Island, which was like a coconut one, and then my fall one is an apple one, and then my next one, I'm just thinking, what was my spring one? I don't even know, but I feel like it was like vanilla apple and the coconut lime. I don't even know what my other one was, but yeah, I do that, and then I use up my sprays. I make sure I use that up in that season, and then if I get to the end of the month and I'm like, oh, it's getting close to my next one, I'm gonna hurry up and use more scent. And so, but I have a hand cream that I use as well because I like the smell. It just smells good, and so I like those too, but those go really quick, and so, and I would not replace those because that would cost more money, but I'll use that up for a little bit too. So anyways, back to coconut oil. Sorry, random mommy. The coconut oil, I started using that because I use that for my teeth for oil pulling. I was watching a video and then someone said that you can restore your teeth, it whitens your teeth, and it's naturally. I'm like, and so I started doing that, where I take like a little spoonful, put it in my mouth, and then squish it in my teeth while I'm getting my shower. I wash my hair and my body, and then when it's time to brush my teeth, then I can brush my teeth. I brush my teeth in the shower. That's another tip. Brushing your teeth in the shower, I don't know, being in that hot water, it's just so nice. You can just relax. It just takes another minute or two, and I've always brushed my teeth in the shower. It's time saver. I don't know, we've done that. I don't know, my husband said it was weird. He's like, I've never done that, but he does that now. So that's something else I do. And so then the coconut oil was sitting on my counter, and so I'm like, I didn't have any lotion, so I'm like, I guess I'm going to use this, because I did get a little sunburn one day when we were at the lake, because I got a new bathing suit, and so I used the coconut oil. I just take my 2 fingers and just rub a little bit on, and that has really, really nice. Like, I have not even bought, I went to the store and they had the lotion, and I did not even get another bottle because I started using the coconut oil. And so I just get the, it's nothing special, it's just the Butcher Boy coconut oil. We get a huge 5-gallon bucket of it, and so it's not like organic kind or whatever. I don't even know what kind it is, but it's good stuff. I use it for cooking and everything else, and so that's been really huge. Like, I realized that, wow, that helps my skin. It doesn't feel oily. It does for a minute, as it soaks in your skin, but then it goes away. And so that's something I do moisturize. It's something I do. I just started putting it more on my face because I am getting older. Older, I'm growing, and then and I love sun. I love the sunshine. I went for years with no sunshine because I was in the house with babies. I remember going to the doctors, and he's like, "Wow, your vitamin D, is that what it is? Vitamin D from the sun?" Yes, I think it's vitamin D. Could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. He said it's really low. You just need to get out in the sunshine. And I'm like, I can't get out in the sunshine because I'm stuck with kids in the house all day. So I said, I'm making up for it now because we go to the lake almost every day, that it's sunny out and to get that sunshine. And so I love the sunshine. That's just my favorite thing. So I make sure that my face feels a little more tighter, a little more dry. I'll put some more coconut oil. I'll put some coconut oil on my face as well. So that's something else I do. One more thing is that I see that when I get older that my iron can be low. And that's something just because I'm getting older, maybe I'm just not watching food perfectly, so I started making sure that I eat oatmeal when it was low, because I went and got my blood tested, and she's like, "Oh, your iron level's low," and so I'm like, "Oh, okay." So she's like, "Just make sure you eat some more." I realized that a handful of Cheerios will help with that, but I would eat oatmeal. I also make sure that I eat some canned garbanzo beans; those have iron in them. Beets, I love beets, so I'll eat those. Not everybody does; I think they taste like dirt, but I like those, so I'll eat those as well. I replaced a lot of leafy, like salad things, with kale because it has a high content of iron. That was something I did as well. And one thing I did, it was lower at one time, and she was going to said, "Well, just get some get some iron pills and take them." And I was looking, and I'm like, I didn't want to do all that. So what I did, I saw somebody else made their own iron pills out of calf's liver, and it was organic, the grain-fed calf liver. And so from a health food store, I went there and I got a little piece of it. I think it was $8. And what I did is I came home and I cut it in slivers, really tiny slivers, like the size of your thumbnail slivers, and then and it cut really easy, and then I froze it. And so then I put it, and it was raw was the best, and I put it in the freezer, put it in a jar, and then every day I would take one, and it's frozen, you can't taste it. I've never even had liver. I bought liver, I haven't even used it yet. And then just swallow it. You don't even taste it. But that helped really quick because it was straight iron, good for you. The raw was good for you, and that my iron level went up really quick. And so that was just an easy way. And I was like, oh wow. And my friends are like, that's so nasty, I couldn't do it. But you don't even taste it. Like, I'm big on like textures and everything else, and I can't handle things. You don't taste the taste because it's frozen, and you don't even feel it because it's just a little tiny piece and you just swallow it down. So I took 2 of those a day, and that helped my iron levels go up real quick, because it was either that or buying expensive pills with the stuff in it. I'm like, why would I buy that when I can just make them with the real food? And so that was one way I increased my my iron. So, okay, so I hope you guys enjoy these little random personal tips that I do for myself, and maybe it'll help change one in your life, or maybe you already do some, or maybe you need some ideas. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you guys again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.